Greetings from Brooklyn. For those of you who don't know me, my name is David Longobardi. I'm Chief Content Officer of a new business information and event company called Cyber Risk Alliance. I'm also the chairman of the Neal Awards Committee, and it is my profound honor, on behalf of the committee, to welcome you to this extraordinary occasion, the 66th Annual Neal Awards. It fills my heart to be speaking to you in this context and to know that so many of you will be logged in and awaiting news of your own and your colleagues' triumphs. At the same time, it breaks my heart to know that this event takes place amid so much adversity and suffering. Community, in both instances, really does matter. I know we use that word a lot in our business, often as a kind of fancy replacement for audience. But we also use it to reflect the powerful and multidimensional relationships that really excellent digital journalism and immersive media and fabulous on and offline event experiences generate and inspire. The work we do, when it's done really, really well, not only informs people, but it also brings them together. Today more than ever, this is our mission: to bring people together around useful, relevant, critical, and enabling information. I'm very proud to say that the quality of award entry the committee saw this year was exceptional. It was an absolute privilege to devour this work, page after page, screen upon screen of deeply relevant, often grippingly powerful business journalism. To all Neal Award winners and finalists, good luck and congratulations. To our Leadership Award honorees, congratulations on your achievements. To everyone joining us today, thank you and congratulations as well. Stay connected and be well.
Thank you, David. This is a historic event for the Neals. In response to the extraordinary moment, for the first time, we are gathering virtually instead of at Chelsea Piers. This is a big change for all of us, but it also means we have the largest audience in Neal's history. Thank you all for tuning in today. This year, more than ever, we need to take time out and celebrate your journalistic excellence. Here's some Neals by the numbers. We received more than 500 nominations for stunningly beautiful work. 149 judges carefully evaluated and screened each entry twice. 203 finalists made it to the finals jury, and today we're here to present Neal winners in 21 editorial categories. This year's winners will join an elite group of professionals whose work reflects the impact and power of business information content. We will also honor the recipients of 4 special recognition awards for outstanding work and dedication to business journalism. Before we get started, I would like to recognize our panel of judges. They deliberated thoughtfully and conscientiously to select today's Neal winners. We would love for you to join in and give them a round of virtual applause, so please at home cheer using the hashtag Neals2020. Let's get started.
The Neals are brought to you by SIIA.
Hi, I'm Jeff Joseph, SIA President. We are proud to present this year's Neal Awards. These awards honor the best in B2B journalism and showcase your extraordinary work breaking news across our domestic and global marketplaces. You tell the stories that help business leaders make effective decisions by providing analysis, insight, and opinion. Your work is perhaps more important now than ever before. Readers around the world desire and need the high quality, accurate, and actionable news and information that you provide. Even as our industry continues to navigate our way through disruption and uncertainty, you continue to provide outstanding journalism, exploring critical issues. Among the more than 500 entries we received this year, journalists took a deep dive into sexual harassment in the workplace, reported on the Florida International University bridge collapse, explored why fewer women are arguing cases before the U.S. Supreme Court, and how American car dealers survived the Great Recession. And we at SIA are here to help. We represent the media, software, information, education technology, and digital content industries. We help you grow your business through professional development, innovative programming, continuing education, networking, and by representing and advocating your interests before members of Congress, the administration, and in capitals all around the world. We provide a rich network of resources that allow our more than 800 companies to thrive and grow. Visit us at siia.net and learn what we can do for you. So congratulations to this year's honorees. We look forward to next year's class and what other great journalism ahead of us. Congratulations and enjoy the rest of the program.
The Neal Awards celebrate unique career achievements and honor exceptional work across 21 different categories. Each of these awards are broken into 3 different groups, reflecting gross advertising and circulation revenue. To kick off the program, we're going to start with Best Technical Content, recognizing substantive articles that explain a new process, technology, or scientific principle.
Finalists in the first revenue category are Behind the Facade, Challenges and Changes Driving the Future of Architectural Glass, U.S. Glass Magazine, Key Media and Research. Advancements in Breast Imaging, Imaging Technology News, ITN, Scranton Gillette Communications, Inc. One Button Landing, Connected Cockpits and GPS Vulnerabilities, Business and Commercial Aviation, Informa plc. Get the Picture, Control, Putnam Media. And the Neal goes to One Button Landing, Connected Cockpits and GPS Vulnerabilities, Business and Commercial Aviation, Informa plc. The finalists for Best Technical Content for the next revenue category are Fast-Changing Truck Tech, Smart Steering, Electric Trucks, and Telematics, Heavy-Duty Trucking, Bobbitt Business Media. Tech Report 6.0, Building Design and Construction, SGC Horizon, LLC. Testing Warren Buffett's Suggested Retirement Portfolio by Craig L. Israelson, Financial Planning, Arizant. Roofing Done Right, The Journal of Light Construction, Hanley Wood Media, Inc. And the Neal goes to Roofing Done Right, The Journal of Light Construction, Hanley Wood Media, Inc. Our last set of finalists for Best Technical Content represent publications with more than $7 million in revenue. ENR defines expertise in communicating complex technical material, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. The Last Silicon Transistor, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. Turning the Electric Motor Inside Out, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. Architectural Record, BNP Media. And the Neal goes to ENR defines expertise in communicating complex technical material, Engineering News Record, BNP Media.
Each year, a wide variety of issues, both global and national, make news that we watch and read about. The finalists in news coverage define journalistic excellence. They provide their audiences with actionable news they can use and the information necessary to make important decisions. The first group of finalists are the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint, Fierce Wireless, QuestX. LiveWell Financial Closure and Reverse Mortgage Industry Impact, Reverse Mortgage Daily, Aging Media Network Incorporated. Celadon Bankruptcy, biggest in truckload history, expected by midweek. Freightwaves.com, Freightwaves. The Secure Act, Plan Advisor, ISS Media. And the Neal goes to Celadon Bankruptcy, biggest in truckload history, expected by midweek. Freightwaves.com, Freightwaves. Next are best news coverage from publications $3 to $7 million in revenue. are the fallout from Ken Fisher's lewd remarks, Think Advisor, ALM. California bill could mean end for independent trucking in state. Heavy Duty Trucking and TruckingInfo.com. Bobbitt Business Media. Ken Fisher's outrageous comments, financial planning, Arizent. And also from financial planning, Schwab's mega acquisitions. And the Neal goes to the fallout from Ken Fisher's lewd remarks, Think Advisor, ALM. Our final entrants in Best News Coverage are The Uncertain Futures of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, American Banker, Arizent. The Miami Pedestrian Bridge Collapse, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Boeing 737 MAX, Aviation Week and Space Technology, Informa plc. Truist Rising, the BB&T SunTrust merger, American Banker, Arizent. And the Neal goes to Boeing 737 MAX, Aviation Week and Space Technology, Informa plc. A compelling feature series makes us hungry for the next installment. The finalists for this year's Best Series are Minds Over Matters, a year-long examination of mental health in the legal profession, Law.com, ALM. The Big Fail, Law.com, ALM. Is sex trafficking civil litigation the plaintiff's bar's next frontier? The Legal Intelligencer, ALM. Road to 100, how 4 cities are leading the renewables revolution. Utility Dive, Industry Dive. And the Neal goes to Road to 100, how 4 cities are leading the renewables revolution. Utility Dive, Industry Dive. Our next Best Series finalists are ELD Data Grab, Overdrive, Randall Riley. Trucking Under the Influence, Heavy Duty Trucking, Bobbitt Business Media. Tech Shortage Special Report, Equipment World, Randall Riley. Going Independent, Financial Planning, Arizent. And the Neal goes to ELD Data Grab, Overdrive, Randall Riley. Our last group of finalists for Best Series are Extreme Construction, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Providing a blueprint for the way forward on climate change, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. The Crain's Chicago Business Forum, Crain's Chicago Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. Special Report, Puerto Rico's legal industry rebuilds after Maria, Law 360, Relex Group. And the Neal goes to the Crain's Chicago Business Forum, Crain's Chicago Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. Now, a message from SIIA Education.
We bring teachers, families, and students together through technology. When the global pandemic closed America's schools, the White House turned to SIIA Education and asked us to help bridge the gap for America's schools and students. We responded, building Tech for Learners, the very first interactive resource of digital learning companies. Learn what SIIA can do for you.
And we're back. The next category is Best Art Direction for a Cover. The first group of finalists are Through the Looking Glass, NU Property and Casualty, ALM. When leadership fails, leaders edge. Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers. RD Volume 1, 2019. Residential Design, Sola Group Incorporated. Sola Group Incorporated. ISHN April 2019 cover, all about welding safety. ISHN, Industrial Safety and Hygiene News, BNP Media. And the Neal goes to. When leadership fails, leaders edge. Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers. The next group of finalists for Best Art Direction for a cover are What's Hot? Food Service Director, Winsight. Do Everything Better, Equipment World, Randall Riley. Goldman Sachs acquires United Capital, wealthmanagement.com, Informa plc. Agency Issue, MM&M, Haymarket Media Incorporated. And the Neal goes to What's Hot? Food Service Director, Winsight. Our last set of finalists for Best Art Direction for a cover are Digiday Magazine Issue 13, The Legend of Profitable Publishers, Spring 2019, Digiday, Digiday Media. Star cover, www.modernhealthcare.com, Crain Communications Incorporated. Cybercrime Within the Industry, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Crain's New York Business Amazon cover, Crain's New York Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. And the Neal goes to Crain's New York Business Amazon cover, Crain's New York Business, Crain Communications Incorporated.
Donald McAlister was an active voice in specialized business publications for nearly 70 years, and he served as ABM's chairman in 1955. This award in his memory is administered by the Business Press Educational Foundation and promotes the study of writing and editorial management for business media. The 27th annual winner of the McAlister Editorial Fellowship is Eliza Strickland. She's senior editor of IEEE Spectrum. Eliza has reported on science and technology for nearly 20 years. Her work spanned Discover, Nautilus, Sierra, Foreign Policy, and Wired magazines. She's joined Spectrum in 2011, covering the Asia beat just a few days before the Fukushima nuclear disaster. Her work covering that catastrophe earned Eliza a Neal Award for news coverage that year. Today, we are honoring her career of work covering biomedical engineering, artificial intelligence, and technology. Whatever the beat, Eliza captures the complete story, leaving her readers informed and hungry for more. Congratulations, Eliza. Your work is an inspiration.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be at this virtual celebration of very real achievement. I'm honored to receive the McAlister Editorial Fellowship, and I'd like to thank everyone involved in the Neal Awards. I'd also like to thank my colleagues at IEEE Spectrum. If I've done work as an editor that merits recognition, it's because I've been working at a publication that encouraged my best efforts. In my 9 years as an editor at Spectrum, I've benefited enormously from the keen instincts, good humor, and dedication of my colleagues. Everything we achieve at Spectrum is a result of close collaboration between the people who make up our editorial department, art department, and copy desk. I started at Spectrum as the Asia editor in March 2011. I'd been on the job 2 days when the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear meltdown began. My colleague Sam Moore, who was then the news editor, encouraged me to take on that radioactive story. Spectrum's readers wanted to understand how that advanced technology had failed so catastrophically, and it felt like a public service to dig in and explain. In the years that followed, I've been grateful for the mentorship I received from Editor-in-Chief Susan Hassler and Executive Editor Glenn Zorpet. I discovered that Glenn had a wonderful capacity for saying yes. Yes, you can go to Guam to report on a deep-sea submersible that will explore the Mariana Trench. Yes, you can go to India to sit on the banks of the Ganges while engineers track endangered river dolphins. Both Susan and Glenn have always encouraged me to follow my curiosity and passion. I took on the biomedical engineering beat at a time when things like neural implants, exoskeletons, and medical nanobots were moving from the pages of sci-fi to the clinic. I watched the rapid advances in artificial intelligence and tried to help spectrum readers keep up. And recently, I saw the coronavirus pandemic bearing down on us and have been helping to tell the stories of the many engineers and technologists who are working night and day to aid the response. I'm looking forward to my residency at the Medill Magazine Project whenever it's possible. Whether I'm in a real classroom or a virtual one, I hope I can pass on some of the lessons I've learned from my extraordinary colleagues. Thank you.
Our next category is Best Commentary and Blog. Here, we recognize those editors who have expressed their own opinions and viewpoints on a subject matter that impacts their target audience or industry. The first group of finalists are Daily Dicta, Litigation Daily, ALM. The Careerist, The American Lawyer, ALM. EMS1 from the Editor Blog, EMS1, Lexipol. Pardon the Disruption, Grocery Dive, Industry Dive. And the Neal goes to The Careerist, The American Lawyer, ALM. Our next two finalists represent Financial Planning, Arizent, Carolyn McClanahan and Alan S. Roth. Basket Economics, Winsight Grocery Business, winsightgrocerybusiness.com, Winsight. On the Money Blogs by Mike Farrell, www.multichannel.com, Future. And the Neal goes to Basket Economics, Winsight Grocery Business, winsightgrocerybusiness.com, Winsight. And the last finalists in Best Commentary and Blogs are Beyond Buildings by Aaron Betsky, Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. Aaron Elstein's In the Markets columns, Crain's New York Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. Crain's columnist Joe Cahill holds Chicago business community accountable. Crain's Chicago Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. Editor's Letter, Architectural Record, BNP Media. And the Neal goes to Beyond Buildings by Aaron Betsky, Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. With 144 million Americans regularly listening to podcasts, we're proud to welcome a brand new category this year, Best Podcast. Our finalists are Digiday Podcast, Digiday Media. Capital Crude Podcast, S&P Global Platts, S&P Global. Bankshot, American Banker, Arizent. Defense One Radio, Defense One, Government Executive Media Group. And the Neal goes to Digiday Podcast, Digiday Media. Instructional content literally focuses on informing audiences. It's everything from how-to pieces to thought-provoking educational content that helps readers do their jobs better. The finalists for Best Instructional Content include Sales Boost, Advantages, Advertising Specialty Institute. Hot, Fresh, Now, What to Know About Warranties, Anatomy of a Scrapping Station, Food Service Equipment Reports, FER Media, LLC. Anatomy of a Pastry Station, 8 Quick Tips for Slashing Utility Bills, Under the Hood, Food Service Equipment Reports, FER Media, LLC. Instructional content that keeps you flying safely, Business and Commercial Aviation, Informa, PLC. And the Neal goes to Instructional content that keeps you flying safely, Business and Commercial Aviation, Informa, PLC. The second group of finalists for Best Instructional Content are BDC University, bdcuniversity.com, SGC Horizon LLC. Training the Trades, the Journal of Light Construction, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. Back to Basics, HR Dive, Industry Dive. The Forum 5500, plan sponsor, ISS Media. And the Neal goes to BDC University, bdcuniversity.com, SGC Horizon LLC. The final winner for Best Instructional Content is Handy Devices, DTN Progressive Farmer. And now, a message from SIIA's Financial Division, FISD. We connect the world's most influential financial markets, banks, and commerce. Tech makes business happen.
The world moves at speed. Global commerce is energized by information. At FISD, our members represent every aspect of the world's economy, from the stock exchanges to community banks. Our members build your future. Get to know SIIA's financial group, FISD. Find out what we can do for your business.
Our next category is Best Subject-Related Package. Different from a series, a story package represents 2 or more stories exploring a common topic across multiple platforms.
Our finalists are Making Bank. In Florida, bankruptcy court generates big fees for lawyers. Daily Business Review, ALM. The Persecution of Alfred Brown. Lawyers, cops plotted against an innocent man. Texas Lawyer, ALM. The Employer versus New Grad Disconnect. SHRM Online. SHRM, Society for Human Resource Management. High Risk, Hidden Workforce. Waste Dive. Industry Dive. Overdrive. Randall Riley. And the Neal goes to The Employer versus New Grad Disconnect, SHRM Online, SHRM. Our finalists in the next revenue group are California's Independent Contractor Crisis, Overdrive, Randall Riley. Cracks in the System, Overdrive, Randall Riley. Tipping Point. The industry speaks out for change after Ken Fisher's crude comments. Investment Advisor, ALM. Game Changers. Have women reshaped the sportswear market? Retail Dive, Industry Dive. And the Neal goes to Cracks in the System, Overdrive, Randall Riley. And the final $7 million and above category for Best Subject-Related Package are 20 Years After, To Err is Human. Medical Errors Are a Leadership Failure. Modern Healthcare, Crain Communications, Inc. Plot a Course for Opportunity, DTN Progressive Farmer, DTN, The Progressive Farmer. Project Moonbase, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. Also from Crain Communications, Retail Realities, Automotive News. The winner for Best Subject-Related Package is Project Moonbase, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media.
Every year, the G.D. Crain Jr. Award is given to the person who has made outstanding contribution to the development of editorial excellence in business media. This year's G.D. Crain Jr. Award for a distinguished editorial career is Joseph J. Innes. Joe started at McGraw-Hill and is a summer intern in 1976. He must have been a pretty good intern because within 3 months, HR called and offered him a full-time entry-level position in McGraw-Hill World News. Instead of going back to college, Joe took the job. He worked days as an editorial assistant and spent the nights taking classes. In his first year on the job, Joe scored a big assignment, interviewing Exxon's chairman. That story was picked up by business magazines around the world and translated into French, German, and Japanese. That was the first time, Joe tells us, he understood the far-reaching impact of global market. I encourage you to take time and read Joe's impressive body of work in our program. Over the past 43 years, Joe was the winner of many prestigious awards and recognitions, including the Jesse H. Neal Certificate of Merit for Excellence in Business Reporting, the McGraw-Hill Corporate Achievement Award for his coverage of the iron ore market, and the S&P Global's Corporate Award in Editorial Excellence for his coverage of President Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs. Joe continued to report and write, as well as manage hundreds of reporters and editors, until he retired this past New Year's Eve. Congratulations, Joe, and thank you for going above and beyond to tell this story to the world.
Hello, everyone, and greetings from Long Island. You know, the Neal Awards are the most prestigious editorial honors in our field, and for me to receive the J.D. Crain Award for a distinguished editorial career is deeply, deeply appreciated, and thank you so much. You know, I looked at the 51 previous Crain Award winners, and I was very, very proud to see so many former McGraw-Hill colleagues, friends, mentors, inspiring role models, many of whom I learned from. One was Dan Tanz of Platts, who received this award in 2015. After my formative years at McGraw-Hill, Dan brought me back, and I was able to go full circle and to see the transition of McGraw-Hill into S&P Global. And S&P Global, I'm grateful for 14 years. It's a company with enormous integrity and incredible people. It was an honor to serve there and to finish my career at S&P Global. Also, a shout out to my early mentors, Mike Johnson of McGraw-Hill World News and Joe Eisenberg of 33 Metal Producing. They always encouraged me. They always believed in me. It meant a lot. I want to thank all of my former colleagues and friends at Platts. It was just an incredible, incredible ride. You brought out the best in me, and we were able to do our best, and I'll always be thankful. I share this with all of you. You know, and that extends to family. My parents instilled in me a strong work ethic, my wife for her sense of humor and listening skills, my sons, and now my grandchildren, who keep me energized. Thank you again to everyone at Connective and the SIIA. It's a tremendous honor. Much, much appreciated. Thanks so very much to the organizers of this historic virtual awards ceremony. I know it was not easy to put together, but it's much appreciated. And my only hope is that it's a one-time event and that you'll all stay well and that we'll see each other down the road. Thank you so much.
Our brains process images 40,000 times faster than words. Our next category, Infographics, delivers innovative solutions making complex data and information accessible and engaging to readers. Our finalists are Periodic Table of Oil, Platts.com, S&P Global. Designing Data, The American Lawyer and NU Property Casualty, ALM. Aviation Week Infographics Tell the Story, Aviation Week and Space Technology, Informa PLC. Law 360, Relex Group. And the Neal goes to Designing Data, The American Lawyer and NU Property Casualty, ALM. In journalism, people are our business. What would we be without extraordinary stories about fascinating people? Our next category, Best Profile, brings those stories about people, businesses, institutions, and/or associations to life. Our first group of finalists are A New Standard Shapes Commuter Rail in Boston, Mass Transit, Endeavor Business Media. The Anatomy of a Turnaround, Counselor, Advertising Specialty Institute. George Lois by Lindsay Stein, Campaign US, Haymarket Media Incorporated. Profile of Visa Chief Enterprise Risk Officer Ellen Ritchie, Payment Source, Arizent. And the Neal goes to Profile of Visa Chief Enterprise Risk Officer Ellen Ritchie, Payment Source, Arizent. The next finalists for Best Profile are The Redemption of James Wilson, Chemical and Engineering News, American Chemical Society. Masters of Offsite Construction, Multifamily Design and Construction, SGC Horizon LLC. More Muni, More Money, Multi-Channel News, Future. Who Really Killed Blockbuster, Retail Dive, Industry Dive. And the Neal goes to The Redemption of James Wilson, Chemical and Engineering News, American Chemical Society. The final group of Best Profile finalists are the Navy commander behind the credit union banks love to hate, American banker, Arizent. Award of Excellence winner Vicki O'Leary, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Burger IM facing ruin in National Grid pipeline fight in Brooklyn, Crain's New York business, Crain Communications Incorporated. Retail Leader of the Year, Shay Cadeau, CSP, Winsight. And the Neal goes to Award of Excellence winner Vicki O'Leary, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Next is Best Editorial Use of Data. This is work that leverages relevant data across one or more platforms. It shows outstanding ability to assess and present informative and substantive data, while maintaining high levels of editorial craftsmanship, journalistic enterprise, and innovation. Our finalists are the Am Law 100, The American Lawyer, ALM. 2019 State of the Industry, Counselor, Advertising Specialty Institute. In-Store Big Survey, November 2019, In-Store, Smart Work Media. Follow the Money, How Biopharma CEOs and Workers Got Paid in 2018, Biopharma Dive, Industry Dive. And the Neal goes to Follow the Money, How Biopharma CEOs and Workers Got Paid in 2018, Biopharma Dive, Industry Dive. Websites are so essential in our everyday lives that when a global pandemic threatened to shut down this year's Neal Awards, we turned online to the web to convene. Our next category recognizes the best websites that maximize use of the medium's immediacy, depth, and interactivity to meet the needs of the target audience. Finalists for Best Website are Modern Retail and Studio Chow, Digiday Media. Leaders Edge, new website, Leaders Edge, Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers. Roads and Bridges, Scranton Gillette Communications Incorporated. Freightwaves. And the Neal goes to Freightwaves. The next finalists are PoliceOne.com, Police One, Lexipol. Government Executive Media Group. Financial Planning, Arizent. Restaurant Business Online, Restaurant Business, Winsight. And the Neal goes to Government Executive Media Group. Our last finalists for Best Website are Architect Magazine, Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. American Banker, Arizent. Architectural Record, BNP Media. Ad Age, Crain Communications Incorporated. And the Neal goes to AdAge.com. AdAge, Crain Communications Incorporated.
This year's Marianne Decker Matera Mentor Award goes to Max Hine. He's editorial director of Randall Riley's Overdrive. Max started his career studying communications at the University of Tennessee, and after graduation, he landed a job as business editor of the Tuscaloosa News. In 1988, he joined Randall Riley as the senior editor of Overdrive, and today he's Overdrive's editorial director. He's an approachable mentor, and Max recognizes his colleagues over the years who have helped him learn the ropes. He says he's honored to work with a wide range of people, from interns to experienced journalists, and learning from them all. To give you an appreciation for how extraordinary Max is, let's consider the woman for whom this award is named. Marianne Decker Matera was the longtime chief editor of RN Magazine and Medical Economics. She was also the managing editor of MedPage Today. Over her career, Marianne won 18 Neal Awards. She was the Meryl Streep of the Neals. Clearly, she was an exceptional journalist, but Marianne's real gift was mentoring. As a former teacher, she's been a dedicated mentor to dozens of colleagues, young and old, who seek to grow in their careers. Marianne passed away in 2014, but she leaves behind a legacy to be admired and emulated. Max exemplifies her longtime passion for learning and helping grow future leaders in business journalism. Congratulations, Max, on earning this distinguished award.
Like some of you, my career started in newspapers, editing stories, laying out pages, writing stories on deadline and on a typewriter. The pay wasn't very good, but the experience was. The journalism skills I developed there, I've tried to pass along to people I've worked with at Overdrive. And you know what's maybe more important than just job skills in terms of mentoring is encouragement. I've forgotten the names of virtually all the teachers I've had, but I do remember those who've encouraged me in the workplace. In my early days at the Tuscaloosa News, my city editor, Kathy Clancy, complimented me on research I did for a story about Alabama Power using a herbicide that was believed to cause health problems. I recalled the publisher, Charlie Land, sending me a note after I wrote my first op-ed piece. Likewise, I've tried to give praise using specifics to those I work with at Overdrive, even though I know I've missed many opportunities. I've been on the receiving end too, thanks largely to Linda Longton, our Senior Vice President of Audience. She's never missed a chance to encourage editors, and over the years has assembled a great team of editors who are smart and work well together. And that team includes Overdrive Senior Editor Todd Dills, who's a past recipient of the McAlister Editorial Fellowship and a winner of the Grand Neal and other awards. Now, Todd's performance is hard to match, but I'd say that the qualities that drive him, curiosity, passion, relationship with readers, knowledge of our trade, are the qualities shared by the rest of our team. And as we push ourselves in those areas, in a sense, we help mentor each other. I hope I've contributed to that work ethic, as well as the mentoring basics of job skills and encouragement. So do my coworkers who've nominated me and the Neal judges. Thanks for this recognition.
We tweet, post, snap, and share every day longer than we sleep. It's true. The average American is on social media an astounding 12 hours every day. It's no wonder that our next category is about to go viral. The finalists for Best Use of Social Media are ENA doubles down against playing cards comment. Emergency Nurses Association. Emergency Nurses Association. Inspire the End and Convince Me to Vax. MMNM. Haymarket Media Incorporated. Crain Chicago Business Get Social. Crain Chicago Business. Crain Communications Incorporated. Architectural Record. Building a Community. Architectural Record. BNP Media. And the Neal goes to Inspire the End, Convince Me to Vax, MMNM, Haymarket Media Incorporated. The next category is Best Art Direction for a Single Article. The first group of finalists are The Opioid Onslaught, Corporate Counsel, ALM. The Fashion Issue, Wearables, Advertising Specialty Institute. Tracking Trump, Counselor, Advertising Specialty Institute. And the Neal goes to The Fashion Issue, Wearables, Advertising Specialty Institute. The next group of finalists are Tipping Point, Investment Advisor, ALM. HEB climbs to the top of the heap, Winsight Grocery Business, Winsight. JP Morgan's Chase Private Client Group used false evidence to get rid of an advisor. This is how the firm tried to make sure no one knew. Financial Planning, Arizent. And the Neal goes to Tipping Point, Investment Advisor, ALM. The final finalists for Best Art Direction for a single article are Smarter Imagery, DTN Progressive Farmer, DTN the Progressive Farmer. Making Sense of the Smart City, Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. Crain's New York Fast 50 issue, Crain's New York Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. The $1 million race, Law Firm Cash floods state judicial elections, Law 360, Relex Group. And the Neal goes to Making Sense of the Smart City, Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. Our next category is the best use of video or webcast. The finalists are Inside the Box, Echo Global Logistics, Freightwaves.com, Freightwaves. Weatherization Nation by Pro Tradecraft, ProTradecraft.com, Scranton Gillette Communications Incorporated. ENR videos provide essential insight into construction industry, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. Law 360's video productions, Law 360, Relex Group. And the Neal goes to ENR videos provide essential insight into construction industry, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. The next category is Best Industry Coverage and recognizes content that demonstrates original reporting on trends impacting an entire industry.
The finalists are Revolving Door at the DOJ, National Law Journal, ALM. DAIC takes a deep dive in the cardiac market, Diagnostic and Interventional Cardiology, DAIC, Scranton Gillette Communications, Inc. Will IMO 2020 pull Asia containers from East to West Coast? Freightwaves. Associations Now, Association Industry Coverage. Associations Now, ASAE, the Center for Association Leadership. And the Neal goes to Revolving Door at the DOJ, National Law Journal, ALM. The next group of industry coverage finalists are Financial Planning, Arizent. Winsight Grocery Business shifts to high gear in 2019. Winsight Grocery Business, Winsight. Progressive Grocer, Annual Report, Super 50, Consumer Expenditures Study, Progressive Grocer, Ensemble IQ. Board IQ gets the Core of Fund Director Comp, Board IQ, Money Media, a Financial Times company. And the Neal goes to Financial Planning, Arizent. Our final group of industry coverage finalists are American Banker, Arizent. Builder Magazine, Hanley Wood Media Inc. CBD and Convenience Stores, CSP, Winsight. Law 360's Legal Industry Coverage, Law 360. And the Neal goes to Law 360's Legal Industry Coverage, Law 360.
Recipients of the Timothy White Award know the pressures of deadlines. They stand up to outside pressures from advertisers, industry executives, and upper management to maintain editorial integrity, delivering honest, independent, ethical journalism to their readers. Past recipients have included journalists who held CEOs and other higher-ups accountable, such as former American Banker editor Rob Blackwell, who asked hard questions about the lack of executive dismissals during the Wells Fargo accounts scandal, as well as Bill Sweetman of Aviation Week in Space Technology, whose reporting on military equipment that didn't live up to the hype or even endangered lives of military personnel ultimately helped create safer conditions for those servicemen and women. Named for the longtime editor of Billboard magazine, Tim White died suddenly in 2002, but his courage in the workplace and his integrity and passion lives on. I'm so happy to announce that this year's Timothy White Award goes to Ann Marsh, Senior Editor and West Coast Bureau Chief of Arizent Financial Planning.
Hi, everybody. I wish I could see you all. I want to start by acknowledging this strange, singular, and truly unfathomable moment in which we find ourselves in the middle of this pandemic, a time when people are being robbed of some of the most important moments of their lives, from the tragic inability to say goodbye to loved ones at the end of lives, to millions who are missing milestones most of us, barely a month ago, always took for granted, like high school graduations, college graduations, and so much more. So I am grateful to the organizers of the Neals for virtualizing this really wonderful gathering and award ceremony so that we don't entirely miss this chance to recognize each other and share our work with one another. I'm honored and stunned to receive the Timothy White Award for, among other remarkable things, being the conscience of my publication and overcoming repeated obstacles to getting investigations done. I'm being recognized in some for being a thorn in everybody's side, and I thank you sincerely for that. In all seriousness, though, I'm an ardent admirer of investigative journalism. Right now, journalism and the truth itself are both under continual assault. At the same time, like the proverbial lump of coal under pressure on its way to brilliance and resilience of a diamond, we're getting a chance to see in our lifetime some of the best journalism ever. I'm humbled and honored to work in this field and to cover an industry that is both vital to people's welfare and that remains troubled. The last recession we lived through more than a decade ago provided ample evidence of just how troubled this industry was, and to a great degree it still is. Many of the powerful corporations we write about routinely engage in transgressions against human dignity, conscience, and the basic golden rule to a degree that can seem inconceivable. I'm so glad I've been able to publicize many of these problems and to recount the plights of many whistleblowers who stood up and simply said no. Many suffered retaliation that cost them their jobs, their careers, their reputations, and certainly their senses of well-being. To mention just one detail that I didn't get to put into a story that for some reason stays with me, was a whistleblower I wrote about who was so shaken by his treatment at the hands of employers and colleagues, all the while he was just trying to follow the law, that for years he would take motion sickness drugs, though he lived on dry land, just the kind you take to go out on a sailboat, and he was trying to recover a sense of balance to feel that his world wasn't spinning. I can tell you that as a journalist going deep into these individuals' experiences, sometimes that sense of dislocation is catching. That's one of the hard parts of the job. When I took this job, I knew that financial advice would be an interesting field to cover. Advisors had helped my family members and I through challenging transitions, and in the case of my elderly father, who has since passed, preyed upon him mercilessly. So I knew from firsthand experience about some of the complexities. What I didn't know and could not have guessed was that I'd get a chance to do hard-hitting, impactful, and investigative work at Arizent, which was called Source Media when I started here. It was the best shock of my life to discover that in my new job for specialized publication, after years of major consumer-facing media, I found myself sitting next to experienced journalists with real backbones, professionals who knew when to not back down. And I'm grateful to all of my many editors, current and former, from my longtime friend and former colleague Scott Wanger, who hired me, to Chelsea Emery, who I work for today, to David Longobardi, Mark Hochstein, and Rob Blackwell, many of whom were on the receiving ends of lengthy harangues by the companies we cover. They withstood tirades and intimidation as these sources tried to persuade them to kill or fundamentally alter our stories, and they never backed down, not once. I have to say that none of these stories would have landed as well as they did without the combined efforts of my smart and savvy colleagues who came up with better turns of phrases, better facts in some cases, better ways into a narrative, better headlines, or the mot juste that had escaped me. I'm very lucky to work with talented designers, editors, SEO, and social media experts, without whom the stories I wrote would never have come together in the ways they did. As I'm sure you do with your colleagues, we argue a lot. As happy as I am about the battles with them that I won, I'm equally, if not more, happy for those times when their better ideas or last-minute catches carried the day. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to my great colleagues. I want to close by expressing my unbounded admiration for all of you, fellow journalists out there, striving to uncover buried truths, to step in where regulators and governments fail, to challenge unchecked power, and to tell great stories. I'm proud to be counted among your number, and I can't wait to read what you write next. Thank you.
Our next category recognizes Best Overall Art Direction and Design. Art directors may fight with editors for white space, but no one can deny the vital importance of visual design. Strong design draws you in and invites you to spend more time with the story. Our first two finalists include Snapshot, an industry in transition, Benefits Pro, ALM. Furniture, Lighting, and Decor, Furniture, Lighting, and Decor, Scranton Gillette Communications Incorporated. And the Neal goes to Snapshot, an industry in transition, Benefits Pro, ALM. Our next group of finalists is Top 100 Independents, Top 500 Chains, Navigating Franchising Today, Restaurant Business, Winsight. Professional Builder, SGC Horizon LLC. And the Neal goes to Top 100 Independents, Top 500 Chains, Navigating Franchising Today, Restaurant Business, Winsight. Our final finalists for Best Overall Art Direction and Design are Architect, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. Tunneling Beneath the Alps and Rocky Peaks, Engineering News Record, BNP Media. The Next Big Thing, Outlook Survey 2019. Can you remain relevant? CSP, Winsight. Crain Chicago Business, Crain Communications Incorporated. And the Neal goes to The Next Big Thing, Outlook Survey 2019. Can you remain relevant? CSP, Winsight.
The finalists for Best Single Article in our first revenue category are Bitter Harvest, Debt and the Bankrupting of American Family Farm, Debtwire. Warning Signs, How Big Law's Greatest Failures Unfolded, The American Lawyer, ALM. The New Age of Homelessness, Affordable Housing Finance, Hanley Wood Media, Inc. The Doctor is In, Leader's Edge, Council of Insurance Agents and Brokers. And the Neal goes to The New Age of Homelessness, Affordable Housing Finance, Hanley Wood Media, Inc. The next group of finalists for Best Single Article are Community Outreach, 35 Years After Bhopal, Chemical and Engineering News, American Chemical Society. The Slow Demise of Mutual Funds, Wealth Management, Informa plc. Also from Wealth Management, Informa plc, Baby Bump, Career Slump. JP Morgan Chase private group used false evidence to get rid of an advisor. This is how the firm tried to make sure no one knew. Financial planning, Arizin. And the Neal goes to JP Morgan Chase private group used false evidence to get rid of an advisor. This is how the firm tried to make sure no one knew. Financial planning, Arizin. The last set of finalists for Best Single Article are Rise of the Next Gen Bank CEO, American Banker, Arizin. MIT Media Lab scientists used Syrian refugees to tout food computers that didn't work, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. IBM Watson, Heal Thyself, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. The ailing NFL players and the lawyer they say swindled them, Law 360, Relax Group. And the Neal goes to IBM Watson Heal Thyself, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media.
Our next category is Best Single Issue of a Tabloid or Magazine.
Our first group of finalists are Food Management, October issue, Food Management, Informa plc. Working globally from legal ops to Brexit to data privacy, global GCs and their businesses gear up for change. Corporate Counsel, ALM. HR Magazine, SHRM. RD Volume 5, 2019, Residential Design, Sola Group. And the Neal goes to RD Volume 5, 2019, Residential Design, Sola Group, Inc. Now for the final group of finalists. Tipping Point, Investment Advisor, ALM. Professional Builder, January 19, Professional Builder, SGC Horizon, LLC. July 2019, Consider This Source, Food Service Director, Winsight. Women Aren't a Niche Market, Financial Planning, Arizin. And the Neal goes to Professional Builder, January 2019, Professional Builder, SGC Horizon, LLC. Our last group of finalists for Best Single Issue of a Tabloid or Magazine are Apollo 11 at 50, Next Steps, Aviation Week and Space Technology, Informa plc. 2019 September issue, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. Finding a Restaurant's Place, September 30th, 2019, National Restaurant News, Informa plc. May 2019, Architectural Record, BNP Media. And the Neal goes to Finding a Restaurant's Place, September 30th, 2019, National Restaurant News, Informa plc.
We have arrived at Best Range of Work by a Single Author. This is the highest individual honor for outstanding editorial work. Our first group of finalists are Todd Dills, Overdrive, Randall Riley. Teresa Hagel, Counselor, Advertising Specialty Institute. Healthcare editor has his finger on the pulse of medicine. Diagnostic and Interventional Cardiology, DAIC, Scranton Gillette Communications Incorporated. Informing construction supply professionals across multiple mediums, Pro Sales Magazine, Hanley Wood Media Incorporated. And the Neal goes to Todd Dills, Overdrive, Randall Riley. The next group of finalists are Andrew Welch, Financial Planning, Arizent. Also from Financial Planning and this year's Timothy White Award winner, Ann Marsh. Jonathan Mays, Restaurant Business, Winsight. Jim Park, Heavy Duty Trucking, Bobbitt Business Media. And the Neal goes to Jim Park, Heavy Duty Trucking, Bobbitt Business Media. Our final group of finalists for Best Range of Work by a Single Author are Kevin Wack, American Banker, Arizent. Alan Klein, American Banker, Arizent. Aviation Week's Sean Broderick, Aviation Week and Space Technology, Informa PLC. Law 360's senior reporter R.J. Voigt's Access to Justice coverage, Law 360, RELX Group. And the Neal goes to Kevin Wack, American Banker, Arizent. Now we come to the final award of our main program, Best Media Brand and Overall Editorial Excellence. This is the highest accolade in B2B journalism.
The finalists in our first group are Glossy, Digiday Media. Employee Benefit Advisor, Arizent. Freightwaves, freightwaves.com, Freightwaves. Chief Investment Officer, CIO, ISS Media. And the Neal goes to, for the second year in a row, ISS Media's CIO. Congratulations to Christine Giordano. The finalists in the second group for Media Brand and Overall Editorial Excellence are PR Week, Haymarket Media. Professional Builder, SGC Horizon, LLC. Financial Planning, Arizent. Restaurant Business, Winsight. And the Neal goes to Restaurant Business, Winsight. And the last finalists for Best Media Brand and Overall Editorial Excellence are Spectrum Magazine, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media. Ad Age, Crain Communications, Inc. Architectural Record, BNP Media. Aviation Week Network, meeting global aerospace news, data, and intelligence needs. Aviation Week Network, Informa PLC. And the Neal goes to Spectrum Magazine, IEEE Spectrum, IEEE Media.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the presentation of the Grand Neal Awards. On behalf of the 2020 Judging Committee, I'd like to congratulate all of this year's winners and finalists on their exceptional work. For 24 years, the Grand Neal has represented the pinnacle of editorial excellence in business media. Quite simply, these are the best of best winners, spanning all categories, revenue classifications, and media platforms. Our jury narrowed it down to 4 outstanding finalists that we will now recognize. The third runner-up is Donna Kimura for her article on the new age of homelessness in affordable housing finance with Hanley Wood Media, Inc. Kimura and the editorial staff also won Best Single Article for this piece. The second runner-up is Catherine Morehouse, Gloria Gonzalez, Larry Pearl, and Adeline Kahn for Utility Dive's Road to 100, How 4 Cities Are Leading the Renewables Revolution. This series also is a Neal winner for Best Series. The first runner-up is Neal Best Profile winner, The Redemption of James Wilson, in the American Chemical Society's Chemical and Engineering News by Ryan Cross. And now, the Grand Neal goes to the IEEE Spectrum editorial staff for their work on Project Moonbase, also the Neal Best Subject Related package. We will celebrate with our Grand Neal winners in person this fall, and we look forward to toasting each of them then.
This concludes our 2020 Neal Awards. Please join us in sharing your congratulations using the hashtag Neals2020. As finalists and winners, you have all become a part of Neal Awards history. This year, we recognize the best of the best here. Please join me in thanking all the judges and congratulating our finalists and winners across all social media using the hashtag Neals2020. Before we break, please note that the Connective Executive Summit, which was originally scheduled for New Orleans in May, is now an 8-part online series called CES Deconstructed: Strategies for Surviving and Even Thriving in 2020. Starting on April 28th, we will be running 2 online sessions per week dedicated to giving B2B media executives case studies and a forum for navigating the current crisis and beyond. CES Deconstructed is free for all Connective members, and you can see the full agenda at www.siia.net/CEO Summit. Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to seeing you.